Well, hello everyone, and I hope you have been having a great day. And it's going to be the third part here on how to reboot the brain. So I'm going to let a little bit of time go by here because I'm wanting to make sure that everyone is able to get on because it's going to be a little bit longer today. And hey, Janine, how are you doing? Candy, KZ, oh, Sherry, how are you? It's been a little while since we've talked as well. As you guys are checking in, would you also let everyone know where you're calling in from or listening onto the Facebook Live? Hey, Jersey. Because I'm wanting to give people that have been starting to really find us a little bit of a flavor because Jersey is in Mexico and KZ is in North Carolina. Hey, Shannon. And so if you, as you're coming in, just say hi and where you're from, and we'll get a little bit of a better idea where everybody's located. But anyway, I wanted to start out today by doing a little bit of a review about hey, Dave, the first, Don, we got a lot of people joining on today. So a little bit of a review of what part one and part two was on how to reboot your brain. And part one was about uncovering our beliefs and whether they be positive or negative about money, business, and our idea of deserving. Part two was rescripting. What are the things we wanted to keep as those beliefs as we undid them or uncovered them? And then what are the ones that we wanted to create a different alternative so that we had a choice on the beliefs as we were stimulated to with an action. So when we got that knee-jerk reaction for whatever was happening, how would we respond to it? And so today, this is one of those days that I just really love because it's going to be hey Elizabeth, it's going to be a little bit longer because I'm going to give you some actual details. Not that we don't give you details before, but I want to give you a structure. So hopefully you have a pen and pencil and be able to jot down some notes. And I'm going to go a little slower today than normal, and that's also why we're going to go a little bit longer. But anyway, the third part is actually doing something physically to put a new directive into the reticular cells, and those are the cells that are in the back of our brain, that their total purpose is to allow that conscious awareness and that visibility of the things that we are wanting. And it really just synthesizes down all of the millions and billions of bits of information down again to about 2,000. So how do we do that? Well, a number of years ago, actually about 30 years ago, I created something that I now call get statements. A get statement is something that is making hey, Sochi, thanks for joining. Again, as you join in, let everyone know that you're here. Hey, Eric, and where you're calling in from. But a get statement is a positive statement that where you go into your future, you make it so real that you can see it, taste it, and feel it, and you bring it back to your present tense, and you create a statement around that. So it's a present tense statement of a future event or a future reality. And you might think that it's very similar to a confirmation statement or a gratitude statement or, things that you've done in the past, but it is actually something much more. It's like a affirmation on steroids. And I'm going to show you exactly how to use it as well. So a get statement is just that. It's the word get I really love because I made an acronym around it. Hey, Ted, thanks for joining. And that acronym for the word get, G-E-T, is Great Expectations Today. Hey, Adam, thanks for joining us. And so, again, if you could let us know where you're calling in from so people can get an idea of where you are around the country and around the world. So the great get statements, again, means the acronym for me is Great Expectations Today. And so it's really the fastest way that I know of and the most efficient way to reprogram those reticular cells for you to be able to see and then choose whether or not you want to connect with the opportunities that are already around us. And one of the things that this really shows up as is that you have a limited ability to really put your arms around certain ideas. So let's say that the example I've used forever is you buy a car and you drive it off the lot, and all of a sudden you see that car all over. That car was always there. You just didn't see it before. There was a reason that had a input. Boy, I'm missing words today. It's been a very long week. I've had a number of speeches. But anyway, it wasn't important for you, so your reticular cells did not allow that information to come into your conscious awareness. So here's some of the things I'm going to ask you to write down. There are 5 questions that really stimulate what it is that we want to focus on and what we want to design as a get statement, so that when we're reprogramming our reticular cells, that we're actually programming them for the exact result that we're wanting in our life and in our business. So the 5 questions are: what do I want to be? What do I want to have? What do I want to do? Hey, Sergio, where do I want to go? And what do I want to give? So it's have, be, give, go, and do. And if you look at those 5 questions, it really touches on all of the areas of our life. So as we're designing our future reality, it has a balance to it. We're not out of balance where all we're doing is something for our physical bodies, or it's not something just because of our families, or it's just because of our businesses, that we have this totality, and so we become that whole person, that whole business. And so look at those 5 questions and really spend a little bit of time now. Allow your imagination to really run wild with it. It's a lot of fun. But out of all of the things that come on that piece of paper, what I'd like you to do is look back and ask yourself, what are the 5 to 10 things that I really would like to really manifest in my life right now? What are the things that give me the most passion, the most juice that I want to create right now? And then we get to create a get statement for each one. And I'm going to give you an example, a sample right now. And this is another one of those things that I'd like you to write down exactly the way I say it. Hey, Gabrielle. John, thank you for joining. And the sample get statement reads like this: I receive $100,000 with $80,000 net revenue by December 15th, 2017. And I'll repeat it. I receive $100,000 with $80,000 net revenue by December 15th, 2017. So everyone that really has a money goal of some sort, whether you're a W-2 employee, whether you're a self-employed, you're a business owner, it really doesn't matter. We have that desire of accomplishment on a financial side on some level. And that's why I use this example, and we're going to break it down, is that the important parts of this. When the first part that is most important in this statement is I receive. I didn't say I work harder. I didn't say if I got lucky. I didn't say, no, I'm just in a position of receiving. It can come from any source. And then I use 2 numbers, $100,000 with $80,000 net revenue. Now, when I have worked with my clients over the years, normally they only look at one number. And that usually is the bigger number, and that is the gross number. And out of that number, it's the cost of doing business, it's taxes, all of the things that go to someone else instead of us. And so many times individuals will actually receive the benefit of what they're looking for, but they only do the bigger number, and it's not enough to do the actual benefit to them on a personal side. So you look for the second number. That net number is what you're going to be able to spend and invest within you, your family, and have the enjoyment out of that. And then the word buy. When we say buy, most goals, if you were to think of it as a goal, is on. It has to happen on this date. But when we use the word buy, it can happen early. And that's so exciting because so many of my clients and myself, I've experienced this for years. When I put it down and I set intention to it, and I have focus, and now I have the energy going towards that result, it actually happens early. And it's not a function of time, it has a function of timing. And so when we do that, it really helps us allow that receiving to take place. Now, something else I wanted to really mention right here is that let's say that it doesn't happen by that date. What can you do? You can change the date. It's up to you. This is something that is flowing. This is not set in stone. It's something that evolves, grows, and really is a process rather than a singular event. And so the very last thing I said, December 15th, 2017. Now, ongoing, the 2017 can be at any year you want. But the reason I say December 15th, most people will set their intentions through the end of the year, through the December 31st date. What happens? We work through the holiday. Now, I always ask my audiences, how many of you want to work through the holiday? I never get a hand up. Then why do we process and put an intention that we're going to have that time to receive the result that we want for the end of the year? So if you're wanting to have those 2 weeks at the end of the year, enjoy the holiday, enjoy your family, have a time to rejuvenate, why not take it? Why not plan on it and have that date as the date of accomplishment and then be able to get ready for the new year? And so it's really important for me to be able to have, again, that balance. Why am I working? What is it? And I have come to this realization because I went 9 years without a vacation. I was creating a lifestyle, a very high lifestyle for my family that I was not participating in. And that really made me sad over the years, but I was caught up into the quote, rat race. Robert Kiyosaki would have really loved that. But anyway, the idea here is have and write out your get statements as succinctly and as clearly, as vividly as possible. So let's say that you're wanting to receive a car. You say, I want a new car. Well, what kind of car? It doesn't matter. Well, yes, it does. Do you want a Cadillac? Do you want a Mercedes? Do you want a Honda? And I don't have a desire for, programming anything that's good or bad, but get down to what you want. I want I drive a BMW, so a BMW convertible, silver, and you get those details in there, and all of a sudden what you're doing is creating a picture also in your mind, and it'll become really, really fun. So how do we use these? This is where we come to the action step. So I want you to, and I'm challenging you to, write out your get statements every single day the same way. And what we're doing, and this is why it's so effective in reprogramming and giving that information to our reticular cells. I want you to handwrite them out, because when we do that, we activate all 3 ways that we take in information. And the first way is when we write it, it's kinesthetic. When we have it on a piece of paper, we see it, so it becomes visual. And as we see it, we read it, and we're hearing ourselves say it, so it is audible. And so we have the auditory, we have the visual, and we have the kinesthetic in one fell swoop right there in this process. And within 7 to 10 days, you're going to know, without looking back, what your get statements are. It happens very quickly. The old adage is it takes 21 days to build a new habit. Within this process, it takes usually 7 to 10. But here's the key. Once you stop doing it, you will lose it usually within 2 to 3 days. So you will lose it much faster than you will gain it. So write it out every day for the next 30 days. That's the second part of the challenge. Just do it for the next 30 days and see what happens. So one of the things that I wanted to do also is to be able to give you a gift. If you go to my Gary Burns International website, on the very front homepage, I've created a video. It's free, and you can watch me walk through this again, just not on the Facebook Live. So it's just there right at the top right-hand corner, and you can have that downloaded as a free gift from me. And one of the things that I really have over the years, I had a little bit of concern, is that because this is so simple, people won't see it as effective as it is. And so if you would trust the process here, just do it. See what the results are. And here's a key too. And it's something that I picked up on with people that were engaged with it, and then they stopped doing it, and then they would call me, email me, write me a note, and they will say, you know, I really didn't believe it. I did it for a little bit, and I put it away. I just found my paper. Guess what? It all happened. So you don't even have to believe that it works for it to work. And that's really cool, is that we're dealing with borrowed belief. The get statements work, and if you have any questions about this at all, please reach out to me. If you want to write your get statements, email me at Gary Burns International. I'd be happy to look at those. Hey, Nancy, Jack, thanks for joining. You know, go ahead and write them out. You can just email me simply, and I do personally give my input back to you. So this is one of those tools that I feel so passionate about because I see what it does to change lives. One of my personal coaching clients that has now become my partner, Tanya Waring, one of her get statements a year ago was to move into her dream home. And it had been on her get statement list. It was an 18-month process. And 18 months on that date, she moved into her dream home. A year later, this is what's so cool. She actually has now the pool that she had envisioned in a secondary get statement that was filled yesterday. Do they work? Yes, they do. And so, you know, I want to help in any way I can. Thank you so much for being diligent on our Facebook Lives. Let everybody know. Share the Facebooks if you would. Let's just really build this community. Let me know how I can help you and the things that you would like me to talk about and to share, because, you know, it's about going together. We're no longer lone wolves out there. And I just appreciate each and every one of you. Have a fantastic day. And I will see you on Monday at 1 o'clock Mountain Time for the next Facebook Live. Again, thank you so much for being here. We'll see you soon. Bye.